Chairman cum Managing Director of MeECL, Sanjay Goyal, today said that the state is facing a shortage of around 50 to 60 megawatts of power due to persistent dry spell. The CMD informed that the corporation is trying to fulfill demand by purchasing power, but due to cost issues, the power department is resorting to load shedding. He also informed of the various initiatives taken by the government to improve the power scenario of the state. The CMD also denied that there is any disparity in power cuts between Garo Hills region and Khasi Jaintia Hills region.
As of now, there is a gap between the available power which is there with us and the demand which is there in the state. The demand roughly is touching roughly around 250 megawatts, and the availability is roughly around 170 megawatt, which is from our own generation as well as our entitlement from the central generating units which we get from the NEEPCO, from the OTPC, and from the Assam Agartala gas-based plant. This gap we are to a certain extent trying to fulfill from the open market operations, which we talk about, like purchase of the power, and some of it is since we are not able to go to that extent of purchase of the power because of it is quite costly during the certain periods of the day, so we are going for the load shedding. And of course, as we all are aware that presently we are facing a very dry spell, and our generating units are also getting impacted. Mintru Leshka, unfortunately, because of the shortage of the water, non-availability of the water, it is off production for last almost 5 to 6 days, and accordingly the water level of Umiam also is depleting very fast, because we are excessively using this water to compensate the loss of power which is there not available through the Mintru. So what I am trying to say is that I appeal to all the public. It's a tough time, and I understand that there is a shortage of power, and which we are trying to work out. Let me assure that this position is going to improve in the days to come, and we are expecting some more power from the other sources, but that might not come very soon. So maybe in the days to come, and with some rainfall which we are expecting as per the meteorological information, we get into production in the Leshka, and we'll try to reduce the number of hours of the load shedding. Our requirement is around 250 to 260 megawatt, and the availability is roughly around 190 to 200 megawatt if we factor into the load shedding part. The additional part, the gap of around 50 to 60 megawatt, we are drawing from the grid, sometimes even beyond the entitlement at the cost of heavy cost to us, but we are trying to maintain the stability of the grid as well as trying to meet the demand of the public. But of course, there is a shortfall in terms of the demand and supply, and that's why we are resorting to this load shedding as of now. But we will try to improve the situation in the days to come. We are already purchasing it, but as all of us are aware now, this purchase of power is a real-time kind of thing. So the moment the procurement cost of the power is well beyond, we are even going up to even 8 rupees of purchase of power, where the average cost of billing which the regulator is allowing is roughly around 4.5 rupees. So the corporation is taking that hit of around 3 rupees per unit during the peak time. We are trying to see that it's especially during the evening times, we are not going for any load shedding, and that is the time the power available in the market is at a very high cost rate, but we are doing that operation just to ensure the supply of the power. But as I mentioned, that beyond the means of the corporation, when it is too costly for us, that's where we are not in a position to do the open market operations. We need to do the calculation. Around 40 to 50 megawatt will turn out to be, it will not be 100 million units. I have told in terms of megawatt, which turns out to be, say, our daily requirement in terms of million units. Of course, we don't calculate roughly because our calculations are in megawatt, but 112 million unit is a big figure. Just give me some time after the interview, I'll be in a position to share that figure with you. It's not about the failure. I think that's too simplistic statement. See, we have to understand one thing. We have only one project in Meghalaya which is dependent on the pondage, which is your Umyam. So Umyam water, we have a huge reservoir which takes the water all through the year, and it is during this lean period we use this water right from the month of say November onwards till the month of say April or May, till the time we get next bout of rainfall during the monsoons. So this 5-6 months of the pondage, it's only the Umyam reservoir which gives us the power. Rest all are sort of like run-of-the-mill projects. So we do produce to a maximum capacity when the water is available. When the water is not available, these units work as per the water available. Like we have 3 units in Leshka. So depending on the power, during the peak monsoon season, we operate all 3 units and generate 126 megawatt of power. See, one of course is that we have a fair mix of our power portfolio. So that means that we should have a mix of hydro as well as thermal, which of course we don't have in-house thermal capacity as of now today. And thermal, of course, I mean, is a firm power in the sense that it is available irrespective of the vagaries of the weather and all. And this is precisely the issue. See, my entitlement from NIPCO, their all hydro-based plants is say 10%. But then their own production is down because of the non-availability of water with them also. So if I am supposed to get say 50 megawatt from NIPCO as my entitlement, I am getting only certain percentage less than that. So same is like in our case, I'm in a position to produce 126 megawatt at the peak time from Leshka, but as of now, because this availability of water is an issue, so we are not in a position to produce. So these are the issues which we have.
Total how many?
In the pipeline, we are working on the DPR of Mintapur-Leshka stage 2, which is quite in a advanced stage. Once we are completed with the DPR, we would be scouting for the funding part of it, which will be a big project. We are contemplating almost similar kind of setup which we have as stage 1. So somewhere to the tune of around 210 megawatt kind of thing. Apart from that, as I mentioned, we are exploring the possibility of thermal setup. Of course, it depends on the availability of the coal and the scientific mining, which the state is moving ahead and trying to resolve that issue at a very fast pace. Apart from that, we have prioritized some 4 or 5 small hydro projects of the range of 5 to 10 megawatt, but those are also in the advanced stage of studies and everything. But these are slightly longer gestation period projects which take some time to come up. For the immediate part, we are exploring the possibility of having some bilateral agreements with some other states through whom we can purchase the power at a cheaper rate, or do our market operations more proficiently, so that we can look into the demand and forecast in almost on a real-time basis and take economic decisions or economical decisions for the corporation.
Well, sir, as of today, how many these power projects are not able to generate electricity because of this shortage of water?
Only Mintadu. That's it.
Umyam?
We are generating, as I mentioned. See.
What about Ganol?
Ganol is, as I mentioned, Ganol 1 unit is into synchronization stage to the grid, and rest all we have given a target to complete it within 30th of June, and we are on track. We will be producing the power from all 3 units from Ganol and putting it to the grid by June end.
So this Ganol 1 unit, you said that it is
7.5 megawatt.
7.5.
Yeah. It is working.
So you are generating.
See, again, there is a availability of water is an issue in Garo Hills also. These are all like seasonal streams, and even if you are doing the pondage is not to that extent wherein we can generate continuous power from there. So I'm expecting with the onset of the monsoon, where the water availability will be there continuously for at least a certain months, we produce maximum out of the project during that period. So we are keeping ourselves ready for that.
So this Ganol project by June, how many means remaining 2 units?
All 3 units should be working when our water is available for production. That's what our target is, and it can maximum produce 22.5 megawatt, and it is designed roughly to keeping all the seasonalities in mind, roughly around 60 million units in a year.
But this first unit of Ganol, so is it producing electricity as of today?
It is into the synchronization stage with the grid.
Okay, what is so special this year? In the past, governments used to tide over the crisis, reducing the timing, as well as they are trying to purchase power. So what is it? Is it because we don't have money?
We don't have water.
But money also.
Money is see.
No, water was a problem in the past also. It is not the new phenomenon.
I have seen the data of rainfall in the last 10 years. April till 19th of April with no rainfall, I could not see that data. So this is a real issue, that availability of water. Leshka normally doesn't go out of production if the water is available. That is one. And when you are talking about the availability of the what you call money, see, we have to understand one thing, that as a corporation we are a commercial entity. So we have to see the other aspect of the operations which we have not discussed, and I take this opportunity to discuss in front of you, is that how much money I am getting in return for the power I am supplying. So our collections, it has a wide ambit, and people, our consumers also have to understand that they have to pay for the electricity bills, which in most of the cases we are struggling for the payment. We have very good areas like Shillong. Our collections are quite good, and that's where as I mentioned, that Shillong being a capital, that we are trying to see that we don't put beyond a certain hours of load shedding and all. But there are certain areas which are loss areas in terms of collections. So this all mix of the entire thing is what the management takes the decision.
Do you think that we have inherited this problem for the last several years? What projects were there not implemented, executed on time?
I would not be commenting on that because there is no point in commenting what happened in the past. We are focusing on the future, and I think we should be in a position to work out something better in the days to come.